So we're doing electrolysis of aqueous copper to sulfate using carbon electrode, carbon or graphite electrode. So anode is made up of carbon, cathode is also made up of carbon, and we have the electrolytic cell, positive and negative. The electrons will move out. So majority of the electrons here, and electrons are removed from the plate. So most of the negative, positive charges. So we have anode and cathode. It's an aqueous copper to sulfate. So even if it's a dilute or concentrated, the sulfate ion never moves, so it does not make difference. So copper ions are there, sulfate ions are there, hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion. First, for positive ion, always the less reactive will move. So copper is less reactive. Or remember, when aqueous solutions are there, hydrogen will move most of the time except copper and silver. If copper and silver are there, then they will move, otherwise hydrogen. So copper ions are attracted towards the cathode. So when these copper ions are attracted towards the cathode, copper ions gain electron, turn into copper atom. So copper stick to the cathode, or copper is deposited, or the metal or a solid is deposited at the cathode. And for anode, what will happen? Because sulfate, nitrate, and carbonate never move. So hydroxide ion will move there. So when hydroxide ion will move there, 4 hydroxide ions loses 4 electron, give off oxygen and water molecule. So because of oxygen gas, there will be bubbles. Now we'll check the options. Bubbles of hydrogen are formed at anode. That's wrong. The bubbles of not hydrogen, the bubbles of oxygen. So this statement is correct. It's incorrect. Bubbles of oxygen gas are formed at cathode. Oxygen is not formed at cathode. Oxygen is formed at anode. That's why B is also incorrect. Copper is deposited at anode. Copper is not deposited at anode. Copper is deposited at cathode. That's why. So means here, why this statement is wrong? Because this should be bubbles of oxygen. Why this statement is wrong? The oxygen gas is formed, but it is not formed at cathode, it is formed at anode. Why this is wrong? Copper is not deposited at anode, or copper is not formed at anode, copper is deposited at cathode. And the blue color of a solution fades. Why the blue color will fade? Because the amount of copper ion in the solution decreases. As the number of the copper ion decreases, that's why the solution color will get lighter or it will fade.